What up? What up? What up, Phin fans? Welcome to another episode of the Phin Posse podcast. I'm your host, Big C, and this is brought to you by Game Changers Media. How's everybody doing this morning? Sorry, I'm running a little bit behind. Running a little bit behind today. Sorry about that. But good morning. How's everybody doing? How's everybody doing? Last night I made a little bit of an improv video. I don't know if any of you got a chance to check it out. Again, no shots fired whatsoever. All love. But yeah, the guys over at the round table, the AFC East round table, they had brought up the question who was the biggest threat to the Buffalo Bills, and I had felt the need to come on and address their question, even though the question wasn't directed towards me, you know what I mean? But I felt obligated to come on and stick up for the Miami Dolphins. I feel like lots of times people it's like lots of times the Miami Dolphins are enemy number one, the people, and I really don't get it. I don't know why they'd be the hated team in the division. Why would they be the hated team in the division? Buffalo's dominated the last bunch of years. New England's dominated before that. The Jets are extremely unlikable, their fan base and as a team. So I don't understand why the Miami Dolphins are unlikable. But if you get a chance, check out that video. It was a good video. I feel like we had discussed a lot of good topics, and yeah, check it out. Yesterday we had discussed. It was supposed to be it's supposed to be a video talking about different draft needs, different ways to fill the positions of need for this franchise through the draft and through free agency. Because we like to discuss a lot of stuff here on the show, and there's so many different prospects for every position. Me and the group decided to just go one position at a time. So yesterday we had discussed quarterbacks. Yesterday we discussed possible quarterbacks that could be brought in for backups, to be a backup to Tua Tagovailoa, possible starters. What's going on, Timothy Washington? What's going on? Good morning to you. Fins up, absolutely, all day, every day. You know what it is. So we discussed some quarterbacks that we could bring in to back up Tua, and we decided to go with offensive line today. And we're gonna bang out all the different positions that this Miami Dolphins teams needs to become a real contender. To become a real contender this year. Because if one thing, I've been saying it since the beginning, since Chris Greer and Mike McDaniel were brought back, that this year is going to be a little bit different. This year, everybody, we take a step back. We should rebuild. We should get rid of Tua. We should tear it down. We should fire the GM. We should fire the head coach. And I don't disagree necessarily that Chris Greer and Mike McDaniel should have been fired. I'm not disagreeing that we shouldn't have restarted maybe. We gonna get the Tyler Booker. I got him on my list. Yeah. That's not here nor there. I can't dwell on stuff that's not gonna happen. I can't sit here and dwell on what should happen. And a lot of people keep going with it. Oh, I don't want to talk about, what's going to make this team better. This is what we should do. Well, Chris Greer and Mike McDaniel ain't going nowhere this year. This year, they're not. Unless the Miami Dolphins start out horrible, then maybe they're gone halfway through the season. But by that time, there's nothing you can do. Where you're just, you know what I mean? But I don't want to focus on stuff that we can't change. We can't change the fact that Chris Greer and Mike McDaniel are the coach and the GM of this team this year. Now, one thing that because they're on the hot seat, this could be a very exciting season for the Miami Dolphins. Because when people get their back pressed up against the wall, what do they do? What do they do? They try to survive by any means necessary. They'll do everything and anything to make sure they survive. So what's that mean for this team? What's that mean for the Miami Dolphins going into next year? It means that Chris Greer, even and we're 15 million over the cap right now. 15 million. And you're like, listen, how are we going to get this money? How are we going to free up money to do anything with? Chris Greer is going to mortgage our future. And that's the big downfall of all of this. That if things don't go right, and even if let's say we have a successful season this year, it's still going to hurt us in the future. It's still going to hurt us in the future, and it's going to cause great problems in the future, salary cap wise. We're going to be in salary cap hell because of the moves that Mike McDaniel and Chris Greer make this year. They're going to extend contracts. They're going to add on voided years. They're going to, we're going to be paying a lot of people long after they're no longer Miami Dolphins. Long after people are released and no longer here, we're still going to be paying them. And that's the terrible thing about the situation. That's the terrible thing about the situation. But let's look at the positives, though. The positives, though, is this year, this Miami Dolphins team is probably going to be the best Miami Dolphins team that we've had in the Mike McDaniel era. Because again, Chris Greer is going to mortgage the future. He's going to extend these contracts. He's going to make the cap space available. He's going to address the problems of need because he knows they're a problem of need. He just watched the Philadelphia Eagles dominate in the Super Bowl because they had a dominant offensive line, a dominant defensive line. And that's one thing that the Miami Dolphins are lacking. That's where Miami Dolphins are the weakest, is that offensive line. That's their biggest weakness, their offensive line. So Chris Greer is going to address the offensive line. And I really see him addressing it mainly in free agency. Is he going to draft an offensive lineman with one of his top picks? Absolutely. Is he going to address it in the first round? I don't know. But what I know is Chris Greer doesn't have time for a prospect to develop. He don't have that time. He needs someone that can step in immediately and be a difference maker immediately. And you're more likely to get that through free agency than you are through the draft. You're more likely to get that through free agency. Someone, an established all-pro, an established starter. So I really see him addressing that offensive line big time in free agency. And I got a couple guys that, we could fill some, it's not going to be super cheap, but I'd stay away from the big name. I'd stay away from the big name Trey Smith, the guard from Kansas City Chiefs. He's going to want $20-some million a year. No, we can't go make the splashy free agent signing this year. We can't do that. We got to stay away from that. Chris Greer is known for that. He loves to make that type of play. We got to stay away from that. Got to stay away from it because we can get two starters instead of one. And we can get two starters that are damn good, for the same price as it would cost to bring in Trey Smith. I could see us trading Teron Armstead. I mean, I could see they got to do something with him. The contract, we can't pay him what he's on the books for. He took a pay cut last year. Is he willing to take another big pay cut this year to stay in Miami? We should see. We shall see. Teron Armstead had one of his best seasons last year. He still struggles with injuries. He's struggled with injuries his whole career. I would love to have Teron back, but he's going to have to come back on a huge reduction of what he's currently making. If he can drop it down to 8-9 mil a year, yeah, but that's over a 50% discount. I don't know if he's willing to do that. I mean, we're not going to get a whole lot back from him if we do trade him. People know that. I mean, he's got a high salary. People know that he's injury prone, and people know that he's on the verge of retirement. So we're not going to get a whole lot back for if we do trade him. I don't know what the cap ramifications are if we do trade him. I'd have to take a look at that, but something's got to go on with him. Something we got to figure out something with Tehran. But I would love for him to be back. I would, because if we lose Tehran, that's another hole on this offensive line. I'm not sure that Patrick Paul is ready to step into that starting offensive tackle position. I'm not sure he's ready yet. But let's jump into it. Let's take a look at some possible people that we could go and grab to fill the holes in this offensive line. And ladies and gentlemen, do not tell me that the Miami Dolphins improving this offensive line, taking it from a real weakness to a strength, won't significantly improve this football team. Don't tell me that. Look at the Philadelphia Eagles. Look at Saquon Barkley, for instance. Look at Saquon. Saquon went from the dumpster fire New York Giants, who had a terrible offensive line. Saquon not even reaching 1,000 yards rushing, right? Take him out and insert him into the Philadelphia Eagles team that has a top notch, one of the best in the whole league. The guy goes for a record-breaking season in a Super Bowl title. People want to say, "Oh, Big C, oh, it don't matter. Oh, we've had good offensive lines. Oh, Tua's still our quarterback. It don't matter." Shut up. Like, come on. Give me a break. You don't think Tua's play is going to improve behind a better offensive line? What's Tua's superpower? His accuracy, his timing. You don't think that Tua can go through his reads and find someone that's open and get him the football? Now, will Tua still have bad games where he does something and we're like, Jesus, what the hell is you doing? Yeah, absolutely. But for the most part, Tua's a good quarterback. And if you give Tua more time, if you give Tua a running game that's successful on a consistent basis, that's going to open up the passing game that much more for him. Because if the running game gets going, what's that do? The safeties and the linebackers got to step up. They got to step up to help stop the run. That opens up passing lanes. That opens up the deep pass. That opens things up for Tua Tagovailoa. This offense can get back to being a top 5 offense in this league. They can get back to being dynamic. They can get back to it. We had a top 10 defense last year, top 15 defense without a pass rush. We got Jalen Phillips coming back, hopefully healthy this year. I believe we're going to figure out a way to bring back Bradley Chubb. You got Chop Robinson coming into his second season, hopefully improved. Now, we had a pass rush to that defense last year that didn't really have a pass rush. Hopefully we can bring Calais back. Somehow, some way, hopefully we can bring Calais back. We can really be a good football team next year. Like, people talk about us, even our own fan base, like we were a 3-win team last year. And I just don't get it. The last 3 years, we have 2 playoff berths, and we missed the playoffs by 1 game. Tua Tagovailoa missed six games, and we missed the playoffs by 1 game. But everybody acts like we were a 3-win team. I just don't get it. It don't make sense. People act like if we improve this offensive line, it's not a big deal. Like it's not worth 2 wins. If you go from a bottom 5 offensive line to a top 5, top 10 offensive line, that's not worth 2 wins in this league. I absolutely think it is. Oh, well, we'll just fall apart in December again. No, no. If you fix the trenches of this team, if you fix this offensive line, if you go out and you get yourself a run stuffing defensive tackle, that's how you win December football. That's how you win in cold weather. So them narratives that we can't do that, yeah, we can't do that because this team's not built for cold weather games. This team isn't built to beat good teams. Oh well, we've built the team around Tua. We've given Tua this. We've given Tua that. Yeah, we have given Tua nice pieces. We have given him Tyreek Hills. We have given him Jalen Waddles. We have given him uh decent defenses, but we still haven't given him what the Philadelphia Eagles gave Jalen Hurts, and that's a top-notch offensive defensive line. And until we do that, how can you justify or say that Tua's not as good as Jalen Hurts or Tua couldn't do what Jalen Hurts just did? And maybe he can't. Maybe he can't. But I don't think it's to say unless they're on equal playing fields. You can't just assume. You can't just assume. So let's take a look at some offensive line that we could bring in that would immediately improve this team. Improve this team. And like I said, I'm not going to bring up Trey Smith. He's just not. He's a great player, but he's not what we're looking for at this moment. We can't afford to pay $20-some million for a guard when we can go and grab 2 for the same price. What up, big dog? Thanks for stopping back by. Good to see you. Good morning. Good morning to you. So in free agency, because I feel like we're going to at least grab one of them in free agency. I still think even if we were to grab both in free agency, I would love to see us grab 2 free agent guards. I'd love to see us bring in 2 starters immediately from free agency, and I would still like to see us use one of our top 3 picks. Shoot, maybe one of our top 3 picks on a guard in the draft, and then one of our later round picks on another guard. But in free agency, I really have my heart set on Will Fries. I've really got my heart set on Will Fries. Will Fries, he's coming off a year where he was dealing with some injuries, but in every year he's been in the league, he has improved. He has improved. He has improved. He has improved. This guy has all pro potential. He can step right in and he can improve this offensive line dramatically. Will Fries from the Indianapolis Colts. He can improve this offensive line dramatically. And the beautiful thing about Will Fries is that he's young. He's young. He's someone that can be here for years upon years upon years. Will Fries is someone that we can plug in, and even if things don't go the way that they need to go for us this year, that we hoping that they go for us this year, and everybody ends up getting fired. Will Fries is a guy that can come in and he's still going to be a valuable asset to the next coaching regime, the next general manager, the next quarterback. Will Fries is still going to be a valuable piece to that. He's someone that he's going to last through the changes that happen to this team if things go wrong. Will Fries is a asset to both the old and the new. He'd be fantastic for us. I feel like we get Will Fries, maybe 14 million a year, maybe a little bit less. Maybe a little bit less. You do a 4-year deal with them, 14 mil a year, 12 mil a year. That's a bargain for Will Fries. It's a bargain. Someone else I would love for us to bring in from free agency. And this one's a band-aid. This one's a band-aid. But this is why you still draft one high in the draft. This one's a band-aid, but he'd make this offensive line. He'd turn with Will Fries and Zach Martin, the former Dallas Cowboy. This offensive line would immediately go into a top 10 offensive line. Zach Martin is a 9-time Pro Bowler. Zach Martin is a future Hall of Famer. Zach Martin still got some playing left to do. Zach Martin can still be a great player. Zach Martin knows how to do it. Zach Martin has been a dominant player in this league. Zach Martin can teach one of the new guys coming in how to do things. You bring in Zach Martin and Will Fries. If we keep Armstead with Brewer and Jackson, this offensive line will be a top 10 offensive line next year. This offensive line will be a top 10 offensive line next year. I truly believe with those two additions, that will improve the running game. That will improve the passing game. This Miami Dolphins team will be at least 2 wins better than the best team that Mike McDaniel's had here. What's the most wins that we've had in the Mike McDaniel area? 10, 11, 11? That takes us to 13 wins. That's enough wins to compete for a division title. This offensive line will be able to move the ball in cold weather when it's too cold to throw the football. This offensive line will be able to move the ball in the running game. We'll be able to run on people. That's how you win games in December. That's how you beat good teams. Protecting your quarterback and be able to run the ball. Be able to run the ball. What up? What up? What up? How you doing today? Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. So I mean, Will Fries, Zach Martin. There's plenty of tape. There's plenty of things you can read up on those guys if you want to take a deeper look. Right now, I want to jump into the draft. In the draft, these prospects are less known. Maybe you've never heard of them. I mean, there's a good chance that if you're a football fan, you know who Zach Martin is. Zach Martin's been a great offensive line in this league for a long time. There's a good chance that you might know who Will Fries is. He's a little lesser known, but there's a good chance you might know who he is. The kids coming out of college, they're less known. You know what I mean? So like, I'd like to focus in on them and give you more information on them. I don't watch a whole lot of college football. Around this time, I watch guys' films on positions in need, and I learn as much information as I can. And I'd like to bring some of that to you. Whether we stay packed at number 13 or we trade down a little bit, if we go get Zach Martin and Will Fries, I would like us to take a defensive tackle in the first round. If we could get one of the top defensive tackles to fall to us in that first round, that shores up both sides of the trenches. That shores up both sides of the trenches. That makes us that much better. But we're taking a look at guards today, so that's what we're gonna do. Timothy Washington mentioned Tyler Booker, guard, Alabama. Now, listen, Tyler Booker can play. Most of these guys can play tackle too, which is an added benefit. Let's talk about Tyler Booker, guard, Alabama. Tyler Booker is a standout offensive guard from Alabama. He has quickly made his mark in college football, hailing from IMG Academy. Booker was a highly touted recruit who lived up to the hype during his time with the Crimson Tide. His journey from four-star prospect to a first-team All-SEC performer showcases his rapid development and potential in the next level. Booker's freshman campaign in 2022 set the stage for his breakout sophomore season, playing in 12 games and earning a start in the Sugar Bowl. He demonstrated his versatility by rotating at both guard spots. His efforts earned him a spot on the freshman All-SEC team and freshman All-American honors from Pro Football Focus, foreshadowing his impact on the years to come. Let's see. In 2023, Booker solidified his position as one of the premier offensive linemen in college football. He started 12 games at left guard, he earned first-team All-SEC honors from the Associated Press and second-team recognized from conference coaches. His dominance was evident in his stats. 41 knockdown blocks. 41 times he took his guy completely off his feet. Only 2.5 sacks allowed and 4.5 pressures across 676 snaps. 676 snaps. He gave up 2.5 sacks and 4.5 pressures. That's phenomenal numbers, folks. He can be an absolute beast, dominant. He has exceptional size and frame, 6'5", 335 pounds. The guy's a monster. He is a monster. He demonstrates impressive power at the point of attack, consistently moving defenders off the line of scrimmage. He moves people out of the way, folks. He opens up holes. He takes people where they don't want to go. He's got quick feet for his size. That's huge for this. That's huge for this offense. You got to have quick feet. You got to be able to move. You got to be able to get out in those screen passes. You got to get out in the running schemes. You got to be able to get out in some space and hit people. He has quick feet for his size, allowing him to pull effectively and reach the second level with ease. That's huge for Mike McDaniel's offense. That's the type of guard you need that can get to that second level, hit a linebacker with all Mike McDaniel's motions and the type of running plays he does. That is so huge. That's why Brewer had such a good year as center for us, because Brewer is super athletic and can do all those things. Showcases excellent hand placement and punch time. Neutralizes pass rushers effectively. Displays a high football IQ. Recognizes and picking up stunts and blitzes with consistency. Intelligence to see the blitz. Intelligence to know which guy he needs to take. That's super important. Super important. He has versatility to play both guard positions, adding value to NFL teams looking for flexible linemen. Ding, 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 ding. Miami Dolphins, hello. A strong anchor and pass protection, rarely giving up ground against bull rushes. He doesn't get pushed back. He doesn't get pushed back into the pocket. He finishes blocks with tenacity, consistently looking to pancake defenders, and he plays through the whistle. The guy loves to keep going. He loves to play to the whistle. He doesn't give up on a play. This would be the perfect guard for the Miami Dolphins. He would be the perfect guard for the Miami Dolphins. And I feel like he could come in and play immediately. I think Tyler Booker could come in and play immediately. So maybe you don't go with Zach Martin. Maybe you go with Will Fries and you bring in Booker. You go and you bring in Tyler Booker from the University of Alabama. Nice call, Timothy Washington. The guy's a beast. The guy's a beast. He'd be an instant starter for this Miami Dolphins. He would greatly improve this offensive line. Huge upgrade over Robert Jones and Eichenberg. Like, come on. Like, come on. This guy just stops people in their place. He's a absolute beast. He's exactly what we need. Exactly what we need. This guy is an absolute beast. 6'5", 325. Come on now. Come on now. That's what I like to see. That's what I like to see. Let's take a look at someone else. I'm gonna mess this name up. Armand Memabou. Armand Memabou from Mizzou. From Mizzou. This guy's great too. I mean, there's a lot. Don't you wish you had just like fucking 5? Sorry about the language. 4 or 5 first round picks that you could just fill all your needs with young talent, super young talent. All right, so Armand he's 6'3", 314, a little bit smaller than Tyler Booker, but that's okay. He's still a gigantic man. He's super athletic. Made Bruce Feedman's 2023 Freaks List at number. The guy's only got 18% body fat. Very low number for a big offensive lineman like that. He moves exceptionally well for his size. Let's see. So Mamabou, Armand could play tackle or guard, which is a big deal too. I like the guys with versatility. If you can play multiple spots on this offensive line, that's a key to me. That's a key to me because you never know who's going to go down. You never know where you're going to have to plug and play somebody. So the fact that this guy can go in and he can play tackle at an extremely higher level is absolutely great. Let's see. Oh my goodness. Last year, he earned second team All SEC honors while starting 12 games at right tackle. His remarkable athleticism for his size caught attention of the Bruce Fieldman, who featured him on his annual Freaks List after posting eye-popping numbers in the weight room and during testing. With just 18% body fat at 320 pounds and a 32-inch vertical and a 600-pound squat, that got people intrigued. Like, this guy is a beast. This guy is a beast. Super athletic, like I said. He's got masterful body control, allows him to mirror pass rushers with unusual fluidity, allows balance. He stays balanced through contact and shows sophisticated understanding of leverage points in protection, brings serious pop on initial contact with his powerful independent hand strikes. So when pass rushers try to go into this guy, he's making them pop back with his initial pop to their chest. You know how offensive linemen, he has guys falling backwards. That's how strong this guy is. He possesses stunts and blitzes with a veteran savvy. So he's another one of those guys that can read the blitz, and he goes out and he gets the assignment correct. You don't have these blown blitz packages coming at your quarterback and blowing the play up because he knows which guy is supposed to. he's supposed to take. He knows which guy is his responsibility, his assignment, and he takes care of them. He demonstrated high-end athletic traits, which translates directly to the field, changes direction smoothly. Another key to Mike McDaniel's offense. Rare closing bursts when climbing to the second level. So he goes out there and he gets them linebackers. He goes out there and he's quick about it because we got quick running backs. Them running backs get to that second level quick. So we need our blockers to get out there and take care of the linebacking core, the safeties, just as quick. Just as quick. He shows advanced feel for varying his pass sets and hand usage, keeps rushers guessing with multiple approaches rather than falling into predictable patterns. That's another key to a successful offensive lineman, because all these guys are super intelligent. All these guys are super intelligent. So a pass rusher, all right, I'm going to get him the fall for this. I've learned what he likes to do. I'm going to get him the fall for this. No, this guy got you guessing. This guy got you guessing what strategy, what maneuver he's using. Timothy Washington says Mekhi Becton would probably love to come here. He will play the Jets twice. Listen, Mekhi Becton, I would absolutely. I'm on board for that, Timothy Washington. I'm on board for that. Mekhi Becton is still young. He's still super young. We get him on the fairly cheap, I feel. I'm totally on board with Mekhi Becton. I'm totally on board with it. Like I said, Chris Grier don't have time to wait on guys, and some of these guys are people that need a little bit of time, but most of these guys can. I mean, I think everybody on this list is better than Eichenberg and Robert Jones. So, but he needs people that can come in and improve this team right now. Right now, Mekhi Becton would absolutely do that. Will Fry, Zach Martin, the two guys I just named, Booker and Armad. Absolutely love both of them. You like Miles Frazier from LSU. I'll have to take a look at him. Next person I got on my list, and now we're starting to get some guys maybe we could get in the second round. It all depends. In the draft, lots of times there's a run on quarterbacks or run on receivers or run on pass rushers. You know what I mean? So lots of times you get a bargain deal. You can still get a first round talent in the second round. It just depends on, it just depends how the draft falls. Let's take a look at Wyatt Millam, West Virginia. Wyatt Millam. He's 6'6", 317 pounds. Another guy that can play left tackle, but he was a left tackle in college, but he translates better to the guard position in the pros. But again, you can stick him out there at guard. You can stick them out there at tackle if need be. He's a 3-time academic All Big 12 selection. He showcased leadership and won the Mountaineer Award in 2024. His durability and availability stand out. He logged nearly 3,000 offensive snaps across 47 games, grading above 92% in 11 of 12 games during his final season, while recording 75 great blocks and 49 knockdowns. 49 knockdowns in 12 games this year. This draft is deep in a lot of our needs. Absolutely. Absolutely it is, Timothy. He's got devastating power in his initial punch, delivers a jolting strike that instantly stuns defenders and allows him to dictate the engagement from first contact. That just sounds impressive. Am I right? Listen to that again. Does that not just sound impressive? Devastating power in his initial punch delivers a jolting strike that instantly stuns defenders and allows him to dictate the engagement from first contact. Tell me that don't sound impressive. That's the most impressive thing I've ever seen wrote about anybody. Exceptional processing skills when handling stunts and twists, maintains proper spacing and shows veteran level awareness in picking up delayed rushers. Nasty finisher. You talk about dogs. You talk about dogs. Wyatt is a dog. He's a nasty finisher in the run game who brings his feet through contact, consistently creates movement on down blocks, and maintains blocks through the whistle. He's elite anchor, strength against power rushers, drops his hips quickly, and shows tremendous core strength to absorb bull rushes without giving ground. Explosive first step allows him to beat defenders to the spot. Constantly wins the race to the edge against wide rushers. Absolutely phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. Wyatt Millum, tackle guard, West Virginia. These guys would, man, I just want them all. I want them all. You can't tell me some guys like this wouldn't help this team tremendously. You just can't tell me. And people will downplay how much a top 10 offensive line will help us. They really downplay it. And I just don't get it. They have this delusion in their head that we're not as good as we have been. What's up, Big C? Just wanted to give you a heads up. I'm Tua Tuesday. I changed my name. Laugh out loud. I'm all right with it, brother. Listen, Tua is our quarterback. Tua does a lot of good things. I'm hoping that Tua changes a lot of people's mind this year with an improved offensive line. I really do. I hope that Chris Greer does the right things. I hope we give him that offensive line. I hope he continues to improve. And more importantly than anything, I hope he can stay healthy. For God's sake, for God, please keep this man healthy. Because that's the biggest problem I have with Tua right now. That's the biggest problem I have with Tua is the availability. You can't build a team around someone that you can't count on a consistent basis. You just can't. You got to be able to rely on your quarterback on most days. You can't worry that an average tackle is going to make your quarterback miss 6 weeks or longer. But I'm not a Tua hater, brother. I'm not a Tua hater. Next up on this list, and finally, is Gray Zabel. Gray Zabel. He's another tackle that projects better at guard, North Dakota State. He is 6'6", 305 pounds. His collegiate career culminated with a second national championship in 2024. Zabel's impact extended beyond the trophy case. He earned multiple Missouri Valley Football Conference Offensive Lineman of the Week honors and maintained academic excellence, graduating with a minor in agribusiness and minor in economics and precision agriculture. His development from a multi-sport high school athlete to an elite FCS offensive lineman showcases the cerebral approach and work ethic that defines his game. This guy got multiple degrees. He's willing to work hard. This guy is got like super rare intelligence. He His senior season, he earned first team All American honors while anchoring an offensive line that led the FECS in first downs and team passing efficiency. His protection helped quarterback Cam Miller set school records for completions, passing yards, while also paving the way for freshman sensation Sharmon Brown to lead all FCS freshmen in rushing. The former unranked recruit started the final 36 consecutive games of his career. He can stay healthy. He can stay healthy. Timothy Washington says he likes Ernest Green from Georgia's 6'8" right guard. Damn, 6'8" is kind of big. I don't know if Tua could throw over. I don't know if Tua could throw over him. I'll take a look at him though and let you know what I think. Gray Zabel's strength displays exceptional leverage despite 6'6" frame, consistently winning the pad level battle and creating displacement in the run game with powerful hip drive. Natural combo blocker who excels at timing, releases at the second level, showcases urgent footwork and proper angles to work off linebackers. Brings a heavyweight fighter's mentality to pass protection. Anchors with a stiff punch, showcasing impressive recovery skills against quarter moves. Elite processing speed allows him to pick up stunts and blitzes seamlessly, rarely looking confused by defensive movement and exotic looks. Possesses vice grip hand strength when locked onto defenders, showcasing the ability to control the redact once direct engaged in both run and pass sets. Shows impressive mobility, pulling and reaching landmarks in space, maintaining balance and control while engaging targets on the move. Man. Let's see. I think this team needs to get younger. Undrafted free agents would help fill the holes and help us in the trenches. Leave no stone unturned. Yeah, I mean, we're going to bring in a bunch of undrafted free agents. And like this, Gray Zabel. Gray Zabel might be had in the third round. Is there a chance he could fall to the third round? Yeah, there's a chance. If we're gonna go strictly offensive lineman, maybe you trade down in the first round and you can get two of these guys. Maybe possibly, you know what I mean? Like I said, Will Fries is still young. Mekhi Becton is still young. So adding one of those, that's cool. And those guys aren't going to cost you an arm and a leg. They're not going to cost you what Robert Hunt did. They're not going to cost you what Trey Smith is going to cost. Mekhi Becton's going to be even cheaper than Will Fries, I would think. But those two guys are building blocks for the future. Those guys are two building blocks for the future. Also, the benefit of a lot of these guys can play offensive tackle. If Patrick Paul if he doesn't pan out, we got other guys on the team that can maybe give it a shot. We got other guys on the team that could possibly give it a shot. Timothy Washington says Clay Webb is a beast from Jackson State too. I'm going to take a look at all these guys that you're talking about, and I'll let you know. Tomorrow we're going to look at defensive tackles, the other side of the trenches, which are just as important. We're just as important. Look at again what those Philadelphia Eagles did to the Kansas City Chiefs. They didn't blitz one time in the Super Bowl. Amazing, right? Amazing they were able to put that much pressure on Pat Mahomes, able to get 6 sacks without rushing more than 4. Absolutely incredible. That's what an impressive offense, our defensive line will do for you. So I'm telling you, we can improve in this offseason. This single offseason, Chris Grier can go out and improve this offensive line and our defensive line to be top 10 units. Top 10 units. And then the only other glaring hole that we have is safety and backup quarterback. Now, do we need some people in other positions? Yeah, I'd love a big body running back. I'd love a big body receiver, another off ball linebacker. We need a Zach Thomas. You're absolutely right, Timothy Washington. You're absolutely right. We need another Zach Thomas. But Jordan Brooks is he's a all right linebacker. Dodson's a all right. Dodson and Brooks, I'm all right with the two of them back there right now. And yeah, they're not Zach Thomas by any means. They're not Zach Thomas by any means, but I'm all right with those guys right now. We have other areas that I'm more concerned with. But yeah, I mean, in our first 3 rounds, we're going to find out a lot in the next month because free agency starts the 12th of March. The tampering window opens the 10th, I think. So we're going to know a lot more in just a month. We're going to know a lot more. We're going to know exactly what the plans are, who we're going to bring in, and then we can really get down to what this team's going to look like, because then we can start really going through mock drafts. We can really go through mock drafts. Now I'm hoping that Chris Greer fixes a lot of the problems through free agency, and we can almost go best player available at positions of need. You know what I mean? So let's say we still need a offensive guard, a defensive tackle, and a safety, and it becomes our pick. We just take the best one of the bunch instead of being forced to take a safety or forced to take a guard or forced to take a defensive tackle because we didn't address it in free agency. Cornerback is a low key need. I wouldn't disagree with that. Greer better do the right thing for Tua. Defensive tackle, safety, lineman, 1 through round picks. I believe pick 13 will be defensive tackle. Raphael, it might very well be. It might very well be. Chef Shu, good morning, Big C and everyone. How y'all doing? Check your pulse. What up, big dog? What up? I appreciate the shout out. Appreciate it, Chef Jew. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Is there a Zach Thomas in this draft? Man. I don't know if there's a Zach Thomas in this draft. Yeah, I don't know if there's a Zach Thomas in this draft. I appreciate it, Chef Joe. Yeah, he told me he had messaged me back and everything, and he said that he was gonna get with me next week. So I mean, I don't want him to feel like I'm putting pressure on him or anything, but I definitely appreciate that. And like I said, I appreciate anything he's willing to do. And I'm super excited and super nervous. Like this is a guy that I watched on TV for, what I mean, for a lifetime. I mean, his profile picture, he's hugging Dan Marino, who is like, Dan Marino is, I'd probably wet my pants if I ever had an opportunity to talk to Dan Marino. That's like I've always been a big sports guy, and Dan Marino has always been at the mountaintop for me. Dan Marino is my sports god. You know what I mean? Like I grew up and I didn't really have a baseball team. Like I like the Seattle Mariners growing up for baseball, but because I grew up in Ken Griffey Jr., like I liked Ken Griffey Jr. Basketball was the Chicago Bulls. I liked Michael Jordan, of course. You know what I mean? Football was the Miami Dolphins. And even to this day, like I don't really have a baseball team. Like there's players that I've liked. Basketball, I don't really follow the Chicago Bulls. I liked Kobe, so I followed the Lakers a little bit. And I like all these sports. I just, you know what I mean? But football, I am a diehard Dolphins fan, and Dan Marino is it for me. Dan Marino is it for me. But Richmond Webb would be a dream dream come true to talk to, and it would be an absolutely amazing experience. So I appreciate that, Chef Drew. I really do. I appreciate everybody in here that shows me support, that likes my videos, that comments, that comes in here and visits with me. I appreciate all of you tremendously. You have no idea what it means to me. Uh, like I said, I am definitely new to this, and I will definitely get better at it. And I'll continue to work for you guys, and I'll continue to, you know, just try to improve myself on a daily basis to give you more of an enjoyable experience in here. So again, I want to say thank you to all of you. All of you, it means so much to me, for real. 100%. You guys are awesome. You guys are great. I appreciate the hell out of you, for real. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. But yeah, you can't tell me by looking at, if we improve this. We were a we were a playoff team 2 years in a row. Then we missed the playoffs by one game. If we improve the trenches, which again, the Philadelphia Eagles showed us how important the trenches are. Shoot, the Kansas City Chiefs showed us how important the offensive line is, because with a poor offensive line, one of the greatest quarterbacks in NFL history looked pedestrian in the Super Bowl. So they showed the importance of the offensive line. Timothy Washington says, like, I like Demetrius Knight from the University of South Carolina. He ain't Zach Thomas, but he is a dog. Timothy, what, you know where his track stock is? Is he like day 1, day 2, day 3? I seen a mock draft today where they had us taking a linebacker from Alabama. I forget his name though. And I was like, no. Wait, I would love to have another linebacker, but Raphael says, I'm just here for the strippers. You don't want me to start taking clothes off, Raphael. Oh, man. I appreciate it, Timothy Washington. You know, I just want to, I'm just hoping that I'm, you know, I mean, I know there's people that are better than me. I'm just hoping that I can I'm at least putting out watchable content. You know what I mean? I hope people are enjoying their time here. You know what I mean? Timothy Washington says, I would say a day 2. See me, and I listen. I know you can find diamonds in the rough in the later rounds, but I'd try to trade my 5th, 6th, 7th, and try and get another 3rd round pick. You know what I mean? Like, I feel those late round picks are most of the time just a waste of time. Guys that don't make your team, you know what I mean, end up on your practice squad. I'd rather go try my luck with another 3rd round pick than waste my time on 5th, 6th, 7th round picks. That's just how I feel about them. I seen another listen, that you're going to start hearing a lot, and this is off topic. I mean, we went through the offensive line. This is some other stuff. I see you're going to start hearing a lot of trade rumors. Uh, Tyreek Hill was in the news again, that someone at the Super Bowl was talking to Tyreek and said, "Hey, what about the Dallas Cowboys? Come to the Dallas Cowboys." And the guy was like, "You're going to have to be our running back too." And Tyreek was like, "I can do that. I can do that." And did this to the guy. What's that mean? Who knows? Who knows? And then I guess one of the guys with Tyreek, like, someone had said something about come to the Patriots, blah blah blah, and someone was like, "That's not happening," blah blah blah. But one of the guys that Tyreek was with was like, "Oh, but watch out for the Chargers," and walked off. Like, what the hell? Like, sometimes Tyreek does too much. You know what I mean? Sometimes Tyreek does too much. Raphael says, I'll take a stripper in the 8th round of the draft. If I could, I'm all right with that. I'm all right. Yeah, my wife for my for my 30th birthday bought me a stripper, right? To come to my house. Got me a stripper to come to my house. And like she had got on this website, her and my buddy and my brother, and they all went in on it. And they went on this website, and there's these beautiful, beautiful girls, like girls that you don't even believe that are really going to come to your house. So the girl ends up showing up, and she doesn't look like the picture, but she's still definitely very, very, very nice looking, and has big old fake thingies, if you know what I mean. And this girl put money on my face. She sat down this close to my face and, like a vacuum cleaner, pulled the money off my face. She never came in contact with my face. Like a vacuum. This was her rear, her bottom part. Vacuumed it off my face. I swear to God. Absolutely remarkable. Sorry, Bonnie, if you're in here and hearing us dirty old men talking like this. I apologize to that, Bonnie, if you watch this. But yeah, listen, you're going to start hearing a lot of wacky rumors. I heard one about Tua for Matt Stafford straight up. Like we should call the Rams and try to trade Tua for Matthew Stafford straight up. How would you guys feel about that trade? How would you feel about that? Because we'd still have a lot of dead money that we'd owe Tua. If we trade him before June 1st, there's still going to be hella dead money next year and this year. How would you feel about that? Matthew Stafford for Tua Tagovailoa. John Willow, good morning to you. Mac Jones. Last night I said Mac Jones was the perfect backup quarterback for the Miami Dolphins. Mac Jones is the perfect backup quarterback for the Miami Dolphins. If I had one guy to bring in to be the backup quarterback of the Miami Dolphins, it'd be Mac Jones. AVS says hell no. You don't think Matthew Stafford would be a better option than Tua next year? You can watch it, brother. It's on YouTube. What you expect for, what did I say that most channels won't? Make sure you like, subscribe. I appreciate it. All those likes and subscriptions they help so much. They help so much. I mean, Stafford definitely. Yeah, I mean, I can't say that Tua is better than Stafford. I really can't. I can't say it. Stafford looked very impressive in the playoffs last year. Stafford, I was gonna say Stafford has injury concerns, but not no more than Tua does. You know what I mean? So the only thing is that Stafford is way older, but I mean, people are talking about, let's be real, if the Miami Dolphins don't perform at a level that is expected, this might be Tua's last year with the Miami Dolphins anyway. This might be Tua's last year with the Miami Dolphins anyway. Yeah, I'm not scared of Mac Jones. Mac Jones has the same skill set as Tua Tagovailoa. So who's more perfect to fill in for Tua than Tua? I mean, Mac Jones is he doesn't got the strongest arm. He's super accurate. In fact, all Tua and Mac Jones's Alabama wide receivers said they preferred Mac Jones over Tua, which was crazy. Jalen Waddle, Devontae Smith, they all said they preferred Mac Jones over Tua when he was coming out, when Mac Jones was coming out, which blew my mind. But Mac Jones would be perfect for this team. He'd be perfect. I would have full confidence Mac Jones to come in and run this offense for 2 or 3 games a season. Absolutely. Now, if you stick Mac Jones back there for 6 to 8 games, I mean, he might still do all right. Again, like he is a Tua clone. They both are from Alabama, both under Nick Saban, both ran similar offenses in college. I mean, he's the best bet in my opinion. I like another Jones for a backup quarterback too. I like Daniel Jones. I think Daniel Jones would do a fantastic job for the Miami Dolphins. Daniel Jones is a very interesting prospect to me because he's accurate. He's very athletic too. So he can escape. And who knows how good Daniel Jones could be. Daniel Jones was stuck behind the same offensive line that Saquon Barkley was. Daniel Jones didn't have that many targets. He didn't have that many playmakers. Thank you, everybody. Make sure you like, subscribe, share. Every time I ask you guys to do this, everybody says they're gonna. I get off and I watch my video immediately. And I'll have 10 people in here and I go look and I only got 4 likes. Y'all be letting me down. Yeah. Mac Jones, Daniel Jones, they would be my top 2. I know certain people in here, I'm not gonna mention no names, like Jameis Winston. Jameis Winston can spin the ball, but he's gonna give you a lot of turnovers. But he's gonna throw the ball and he's gonna whip it. We need a starting 8 on our offensive line because injuries will happen. We have to start preparing for injuries. I agree. I say you bring Isaiah Wynn back now that Isaiah Wynn's healthy. Isaiah Wynn has been a good player for us when healthy. And it took him forever last year to get healthy. That wasn't his fault, though. That was Chris Greer's fault. It was Chris Greer's fault that he knew that he was that injured and he brought nobody else in besides Isaiah Wynn. So we sat there and we waited for Isaiah Wynn, not knowing the severity of his injury, and it took him forever to get back. And we were getting frustrated, but in reality, that wasn't Isaiah Wynn's fault. That was Chris Greer's fault. But I would absolutely bring Isaiah Wynn back. If Lamb wants to come back, I'd bring Lamb back. Lamb has been serviceable at tackle positions for us, filling in for injuries at the tackle position. And then, like I said, I wanna bring in 2 starting guards from free agency. So then you should have a starting caliber guard from the draft on the bench too, waiting in the wings. So right there, that gives you 8. That gives you 8 on the offensive line. And I'm cool with it. And again, hopefully the Miami Dolphins can bring Calais back for the defensive line. Hopefully we can go out and get a defensive tackle in the top 3 picks. In my opinion, top 3 picks, no order necessary. First, second, third round, I'd like to see in no particular order. Guard, defensive tackle, safety. Guard, defensive tackle, safety. Wynn is the only one I'm bringing back on the O-line. You didn't think Lamb played all right for us? I think Lamb's going to retire, but you didn't think Lamb played all right? But yeah, as far as guards, Eichenberg's gone. Robert Jones, bye. Peace out. All you guys, peace out. All you guys, peace out. But yeah, that's how I would go. And the way I'd choose, I mean, guard, I'd probably try to wait off till second round, especially if we brought in two starting guards from free agency. I would probably try to get my guard in the draft in the second round, and maybe try to trade up. I would try to trade up and get Wyatt Milliam or Gary Zabel, and I think that'd be a home run. And then the first round, you either go and you try to get Malachi Starks, the safety out of Georgia, which would be a home run, an absolute home run. Emma Worry from South Carolina, he's a great big safety, super fast. That'd be a home run. Or if you can get Mason Graham, or I can't think of the other kid's name off the top of my head, the other defensive tackle from Michigan. If you can get one of those in the first round, man, listen, this team can be greatly improved. This team can be 2 games better. If this team's 2 games better, we're talking about competing for a division title. And if this team can stay healthy, and if Tua can stay healthy, and that's a big if, that's a big freaking if. But if Tua can stay healthy, this team can compete for a division title. This team can compete in December with a revamped offensive line, a revamped defensive line. If we're a top 10 unit in the trenches on both sides of the football, this team will perform if healthy. This team will win a playoff game if healthy. And that's when things become dangerous, because look at the New York Giants, those New York Giants teams with Eli Manning. They were not very good teams. They barely made the playoffs. And then next thing you know, they sneak out a win, and they sneak out another one, and then they find themselves in the Super Bowl. Now, was the Super Bowl a long shot? Is that a pipe dream? Maybe so. But if you improve these trenches into top 10 units, it's more of a possibility than you'd like to than people think it is. It really truly is. Let Buffalo mess around. Let Josh Allen, and I don't pray for any injuries. Let Josh Allen not be invincible for once, because bodies start breaking down. As you know what I mean? He's gonna let the Buffalo Bills slip up a little bit. Let people mess around and let us win this division. Mess around, let us win this division, and then next thing you know, we got a home playoff game. You letting people come down to Miami and play? Watch out. Do we need a lot to go right for that to happen? Yeah, but not as much as you would like to think. If Chris Greer goes about this correctly, we'll be all right. This will be the best team of the Mike McDaniel era. Mark my words, this is going to be the best team of the Mike McDaniel era. And I'm excited to see it. And and I hope and pray Tua can stay healthy. Shoot, I hope and pray the rest of the team can stay healthy as well. Because, I mean, we've seen Tua stay healthy and the rest of the team injured. And we've seen Tua injured and the rest of the team healthy. It just doesn't mix. No matter way, the only way this team's going to be successful is if they're both healthy. So we shall see. What up, Cap for life? We shall see. Tomorrow, gonna check out some defensive line prospects. Then we'll probably move to safety. We're gonna do some. I'm gonna try to do something on a show where I can try to figure out what the what the cap number is going to look like. Hopefully, to see how much cap room we're really going to have. And free agency is only a month away, folks. And then we're going to see what this team's really going to start looking like. It'll be time to start really putting this team together. And once free agency gets here, then you get into these mock drafts, and you can really start seeing what your team's going to look like come opening day, come beginning of the season. You really get to start seeing it and piecing it together, and that's when it gets real exciting and real fun. That's when it gets exciting and real fun, especially if you feel like you've made home run moves in free agency. If you feel like you've nailed the draft, then you get pumped for the season. But yeah, defensive tackles tomorrow, defensive line, whatever you want to shake it. I got to put a new thumbnail up. I didn't have time to make one yet today, so I will get that up there. But thank you for stopping by. I'll be back 10 a.m. Eastern time, Monday through Friday. Sometimes I'm a few minutes late. Just be patient. I appreciate every single one of you. Please, please, it means so much to me if you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit the notification button. Because sometimes, like last night, sometimes I just randomly I see something and I have to reply. I got to reply. So if you missed last night's video, check it out. I appreciate every one of you. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment, share. Phin's all the way up forever. You know what it is. I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.